Good evening, everyone. My name is Maazi Ezeoke. I welcome you to this evening conversation, the State of the Igbo Nation Townhall series. Tonight, we are going to be looking at the Igbo Unification in focus. What's driving the recent momentum? Now, as a means of introduction, I will have the following to say. The Igbo are not just a people of the Southeast. Ndị Igbo can be found across Nigeria in Delta, in Edo, in Kogi, in Rivers, in Benue, and beyond. Everywhere where they have carried with them a spirit of enterprise, resilience, and cultural pride. Yet, despite their wide presence and contributions, the question of Igbo unity has remained complex, shaped by politics, colonial distortion, economics realities, and internal differences. But today, we have a sense, a renewed one indeed, a renewed energy. Across the homeland and the diaspora, voices are calling louder for unification, whether in politics, culture, or economics. This conversation seeks to ask what exactly is driving this momentum and what can we do what can we do to turn it to real strength for Ndibo and for Nigeria? Today, I am honored to have me here, distinguished guests who have been making remarkable contributions in their various fields as regards to the topic today. I have here Chukwuemeka Justine Kogolo, who many popularly known as Deputy Jesus, a powerful cultural and spiritual voice who has inspired many with his message of resilience and truth. Nnemeka, you're welcome. Chukwuemeka, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, the host. I'm grateful to be here with you people. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We also have Chief Onwemadu Kainebi, who is the CEO Igbo Ezue TV, who has dedicated this platform to projecting Igbo heritage and championing cultural pride. Kainebi, Ekenemgi.
Ndewo Maazi, ọhaneze ndewo ekene m unu. Obi dị m ụtọ nwere ịnọ na platform a taa. Daalụ sir.
Okay. Ndewo nwanne m. Next is Onyekachi Ossai, who is also popularly known as Spirit Almighty, a passionate advocate for identity and spiritual awakening among Ndibo. Spirit Almighty, anyị ekene gị.
Daalụkwa Diokpa, daalụ ndị nke anyị ekenekwa m n'ọnụ.
Thank you very much. Now, the last but not the least is Chief Chukwuemeka Ndukaku, who is the convener, Unify Igbo Now movement and director, Nnaa Mehn TV, whose movement has been at the forefront of mobilizing for Igbo solidarity and unity. I must say this. Many will say, why do you have only young men in this conversation? Of course, there is a careful thought behind this by this platform. What Njenje Media here want to achieve is to have the voices across various platforms that are being in the forefront of this renewed conversation. Bear in mind that every single person on this platform this evening is born since after the Civil War. Therefore, together we will examine the political and economic dimension of unification, while we also reflect on lessons from history, including the heroic resistance of the Ezeoke and the Sama communities against colonial incursion. This is not just about looking back, it's about charting a new clear course for the future of Ndibo, Nigeria, and Africa in general, if you permit me to say that. Now, for this evening conversation, I would want us to start as follows. I will give every single every single one of us the permission for us to say hello to this platform and state what we are actually doing. Okay, I bring you all here once more. Now, as I said before, let me start with you. I'll give each and every one of us 2 minutes to make an introduction of himself and what the platform that he chairs, is there for. Let me start with Chuk's Deputy Jesus.
Ndewo onye ọma, Njenje, ndewo. Ndị Igbo ekene m unu. Afa m bụ Chukwuemeka Kogolo. Chukwuemeka abbreviate ya to Chuks or Emeka, so my English name Neudrell, Chuks Justine Kogolo. Onye nke ji Deputy Jesus wee mara. Mana agwala m before na ọ bụ na nchọkwa mkpụrụ gị ka m wee ihe Jizọs. Biko, we are here to discuss about the Igbo Unification. Ka anyị kọwalụ ndị Igbo ihe butere IGBD ya na ihe anyị bụ n'obi wee na-eme ya bụ Igbo Unification. Daalụ ndị na-ege anyị ntị.
Okay, thank you very much. Nwannem. So ihe anyị ga na-eme bụ na we will try as much as possible because I know a lot of people that will join us from the diaspora. So we would try as much as possible to, I ga na-asụ Igbo. Ọ bụrụ na ya mara asụ Igbo, mana anyị na ọkwagwala ụmụ ya, ọ bụrụ na ha na-atụrụ ji, ha na-atụrụkwa mgbọrọgwụ. So I ga na-emix ya mix. Now, nwanne m nwoke bụ Kainebi, ekene m. ị nwere ike ịgwa anyị ihe your platform, the idea behind it, kedu ihe nke ị ka eme gbasara nkata anyị na-akpa na mgbede.
Okay. Ndewo. Nke bụ eziokwu bụ na Igbo TV, they dedicated to Ichiko ndị Igbo, dedicated to bringing Igbos together. I am from Delta, the Igbo-speaking part of Delta, Eka precisely, and Emma mgbe na-etonite onwe ihe ndị anyị bido ọfụma that ịkpanite ajụjụ, ana m asụ asụsụ dị otu, ana m aza afa dị otu, ana m eme omenala dị otu a. Kedu ihe kpatazi? What is the reason behind me saying this is not who I am? But in the recent, everything I do, everything, my life portrait actually point to this, no yeah kambo. But I'm taking myself away from it, saying no yeah kambo. So yeah, that is what actually gave birth to Ezue TV, because as we begin to move around, we were able to find out that there are reasons behind the denial, there are reasons behind the rejection, there are reasons behind the shying away from what is truth. So we say, okay, the only way to overcome this is to begin to enlighten and constantly educate our people the danger of denial, what we have denied ourselves at the cost of denying our identity, the danger of standing alone, the danger of making ourselves to be minority in a place that ought to be the majority. And what we stand to gain if we align ourselves back to that, to that stem that we have taken ourselves out of. So in that we pattern region, if on they are together to exercise their oneness.
Thank you very much, Nwannem. Thank you very much. Spirit Almighty, Kamjukane, in line with that, kedu ihe gị nwa nwere ike ịgwa anyị?
Okay, Nwannem, daalụ sọ Njenje TV. Ife ga-amarị bụ na dịka mụ kịta abụ m onye ụkwụ anyị. So ndị nke anyị bụ ndị ụkwụ anyị for so long, even before wa mụọ m, mfu onye ụkwụ anyị ibe m ngwa na anyị bụ ndị Igbo, ọbịa ọsị mba na anyị bụ ndị ụkwụ anyị abụghọ ndị Igbo. So ndị azụ na-emewe na amalị na o nweghị ife dị iche between anyị bụ ndị ụkwụ anyị na ụmụ nwanne ndị dị na Southeast. Mana abịazị m chọpụtazi na politics so n'ife me na ndị nke anyị bido na-asị na wa bụ ndị Igbo. Ma ị bịa n'enu anị ma ka nwancha ọbịa na-asị na wa bụ ndị Igbo. So ị na-esisi anya ife mewa ji asị na wa bụ ndị Igbo, ọ bụrụ na ife ndị mesige oge ga-aga. So nsị mba na m ga-ewere my page na social media ka m bido na-akọwalị ndị nke anyị na-emewe na amarị na anyị bụ ndị ụkwụ anyị embrace ya ụmụ nwanne ndị Southeast na ọ ga-adịla anyị mma. Anyị ga-ebido na enjoy ife ncha na-abịa with unity. O nwere ife ga-aghọta na onye na-anọrọ onwe na-esi na ndị a na igwe bụ ike abụghọ nwanne n'ịchọ na ka ị nọrị n'ofu ka ị nọrị n'onwe. O nwere so many things ị ga-adị limited to. Mana anyị ndị a join ya Southeast like na ọ bụrụ ka na onwe onye ụkwụ anyị na-achọ ije for presidency, so ndị ụkwụ anyị ma vote there. And they ma achọ ka ndị Southeast ụmụ nwanne anyị vote early ebi na deny your Igbo identity. So denying our identity all mean so many bad things. So anyị bụ ndị anyọma now. Ị na-anya anyọma bụ ofu. Eka osimiri anyị ọcha n'ụkwụ anyị ncha bụ nwanne. Ọ ya mere nji na-asị ka Igbo nọkọ ọnụ ka anyị bụrụ ofu. Na in oneness we will succeed.
Ndewo nwanne m, ndewo. Chukwuemeka, mgbe anyị nọ na-achọ ka anyị kọwatara onye ọbụla onye na-ekwu, ọ dị ka o nwere ka igwe eji ekwu okwu si wee kpachapụ gị. Mana obi m ụdị aṅụrị na ịbatago. Kedu ka ị nwee ike ịkọwatụrụ anyị otu nkeji, ị nwee ike ịkọwara anyị onye anyị na ya nọ, kedụkwanụ nke ị ka emechasị? We can hear you. Hold on. Unmute. Okay, go ahead. You've been unmuted.
Okay. Ana m ekele gị Maazi, ana m ekelekwe ndị Igbo na ndị mba ụwa na-anọnyere anyị taa. Ezigbote aha m Chukwuemeka Ndukaku. Awụkwanụ m onye Mbieri na Mbaitoli local government area nke n'Imo State. N'ike nke Chineke, na-ahụ maka njem Unify Igbos now. Njem Unify Igbos na ya mkpakọta Igbo ọnụ bidoro n'afọ ole na ole gara aga, approximately 4 years now. N'afọ anọ ka anyị bidoro na-aba ebe niile anyị na-anọ na ntị na asị na ndị Igbo na asị na ndị Igbo nwekwe n'ebe ahụ, maka na dịka m na-etolite ezinyere m ka m gaa akwụkwọ na obodo nke Port Harcourt. So ebe ahụ ka m nọ asị nwa si na-aba, nwa toro na-aba. So m na-ahụ na enwere ife anyị na-asị na ọwụ onye Igbo. So ebe a ka ihe na-eme m taa, njem m bidoro. So amụọ na-ahụ maka Unify Igbos na ya mkpakọta Igbo ọnụ na gburugburu ala anyị niile, ebe niile enwere ndị Igbo. Udo na-achị.
Udo dịrị gị. Okay, thank you very much nwanne m. Ngwa ka m nweta kene nwanne anyị nwoke bụ ka njukene ya ajụjụ, and m ga-achọkwa ka onye ọbụla n'ime anyị tinye ọnụ na ajụjụ anyị chọrọ ịjụ. Chuks, Deputy Jesus, kedu ihe ọ dịghị ka merenụ that led to some part of ndị Igbo denying their identity? What is it that you think that happened that led to that? I mean, not that many of us haven't read a lot from the books. Of course, we have hundreds of them. But you know, as young people, because I must give you guys credit that within the social media space, you know, the reason why all of you are here is that you have used your social media handles to talk about these so much. And the ọkwa mere anyị ji nọrọ ebe a. So dịka m si jụọ gị and m ga-achọ ka ị gwatụna anyị dịka isi ghọta maka na carefully anyị chọrọ ka ọ bụ kene ụmụnne anyị ndị na-abụghị ndị South East ga-lead kene this conversation and etu ị nọ kịta ka ị bịa sị ka ị gwakene anyị maka na mgbe ụfọdụ o nwere ike ọ bụrụ na onwe ihe na-emenụ mmadụ amaghị mmadụ nwere ike ọnụ ya na-esi isi ọ maghị ya mana gwakene anyị ihe mere ede ji wee bee ya bụ nwee. Go ahead, Deputy Jesus. I think Ingwe lag there. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes. Ịma na ndị be anyị si na asị ite aka ọ bụla omenala. Ajọ ife taa aka ọ bụla omenala. Ihe dị n'obodo a bụ na ihe mere ndị be anyị ji bido jụwa na ha bụrụ ndị Igbo ọ karịrị nkụ mana nke kachasị nke bụ na ndị be anyị tụrụ onwe anyị asị ka a nwere nke a wee bido okwu. Onwe ihe m kwuru na radio station AIT da communication ray power obodo Nigeria ka a tụrụ anyị asị na Nigeria gbaa bọọlụ with India ewin ya 99-100 agba Nigeria 99 goals ọ bụrụ so ofu ka anyị nyete ọ asị atụrụ anyị n'obodo a ị ga-ajụ onwe gị ka onye kirilu bọọlụ a ka ebe na wee gbaa dị bọọlụ. So ihe dị na ihe a bụ anyị ma na ahịa ka a nụchara ahịa na onye ọbụla achọ survive ka a nụchara ahịa Biafra onye ọbụla achọ survive and to survive you need to deny some certain things. Enwe ndị chọọ ka ha hapụ inyefa 20 pounds when ndị chọọ ka ha nwee ike retrieve their property agbapụ n'obodo hapụ. So there were a lot of factors that plays out in the denial process. But the major problem is that we lie to ourselves. That is the major problem because I find out that accusing other people or not taking responsibility of our irresponsible action is one major problem and it's fueled by ignorance. So we supposed to first of all acknowledge that we lie to ourselves. I told my say, I run the Igbo. And I told my say because I teach survive for the system that Nigeria itself created even before independence. It tight and foster, want to kill anything that bears Igbo right from origin. I've shared this story many times in my platform. After the Ekumeku War in 1883 to 1914, and well, a lot of policies that the colonial era put in place to make sure they divide the Igbos to be able to rule them. If you have read a lot of books, as you said, you understand where I'm coming from. So divide and rule came. But you see, in that process, it's still in our decision to make sure that we do not accept what a foreigner is telling us. Okay, in Anya Abmonyon Chubo na Delta State. Manafambu Chukwuemeka. Afo Bodombo Nchubo. Afo Bimbo Obi. Idumun Sibiabu Umo Oshomi. Nne Awaji. Nna Bobanigwe. Ngoda Abamu Onani. Nnaa azụ afọ eke orie afọ nkwọ. So ọ bụrụ na mmadụ si gị tinye aka n'ọkụ ị kwesịrị itinye aka n'ọkụ ị ga-ajụ onye a ka ihe na-etinyela aka n'ọkụ ebe m bụ mmadụ ọkụ dụchazie m nke bodozie onye ahụ. So it is still our duty to accept that we falter, and this is where I'm coming from, because over the time when I started propagating this, I found out that 99% of us believe lies more than the truth. That is where even Nigerian problems started from lie. And that is why I personally made deliberate intention that in all my videos, I will bring facts, evidence, and logic truth. Because if the truth will set people free, it means that lies put us into slavery. Correct. If we are in bondage, if we are suffering today, if we are not progressing today, it means that we believe lies. And if the truth will set us free, that means lies is the one that kept us where we are today. So that's all I ask. And we buy into those lies. Because I found the reason ị ga-eji na-eri na-ata ọjị ndị Igbo, na-anwụ nkwụ ọcha ndị Igbo, na-agba ogene ndị Igbo, na-ata abacha ndị Igbo. Ndị be anya si rie oke isi, rie oke ọdụ, pụtakwa na eti si na oke na-enuzi inu. Ka onye rizi oke isi na ọdụ dị ya.
Thank you very much.
So, ya bụ ihe bute enu na atụrụ anya asị, mana anyị kwelu na asị asịla anyị bụ eziokwu.
Okay.
This is the first point that our forefathers or those who are before us do not look into it. And when they were doing it, they did not see it today. As of that time, it looks easier for them to deny and survive. But they laid a foundation that lingered to this point. Because if they have seen it that time, know that this thing we are doing now, at the later on, it will affect generations to come. They would have stopped. But they continue lying with hope that one day it will stop, one day it will stop. Now it never stopped. 5 decades after the Civil War, the thing is still lingering. And if we do not put a stop to it now, we don't know what will happen to the next generation. That is the major problem here.
Thank you very much. So, Biko, Nga Choka, can you be very time conscious? Because Onwemadu, please, Kainebi, were nkeji abụọ 2 minutes. Dịka nsi wee jụọ ya. Maka na etu iru anyị si dị iche iche ka echiche anyị niile si wee dị. Nwanne anyị nwoke ekwugo na we lied to ourselves. That's the major thing on ekwu here. Na ndị Igbo, ndị nna nna anyị lied to themselves na pabụrụ Igbo. Mana in your own view, gịnị ka iche? What do you think led to the denial of the, some of us denying the Igbo identity?
First, thank you, sir. Thanks to our listeners. I have so many things to say to that effect, but let me start by reminding us that even before the wave of this denial, Igbo has always been one. Majority of the communities that you see today in Delta State have link, both the Kav today, both the Kwale, and both the Aniocha, comprising that of Anioma, have link directly with Nri. Most of the kinship, this thing there was actually founded by Odogu. These are Nri. The stories are there. Now, number one is this. Some of the factors that led to this denial of one's identity was a systematic arrangement actually placed to work against Igbo, one by the colonial masters that comprises of British, Portuguese, and so on and so forth. Secondly, the system that run Nigeria, the way it was phantom. Because those who colonize us, when they have an encounter with us, they actually discover that the 3 major ethnic groups we have in Nigeria don't reason in the same vein. For that purpose, they were measured and see the ones that are very tough. And the ones that are very tough are nothing but the Igbos. And for them to gain whatsoever access to every mineral resources in Nigeria, a system must be put in place to always to always put a kind of blame on the Igbos to chase us inward so that we will not come out and begin to express ourselves. Because the first one is called a kind of a very serious this thing with us. Number one, when you look at the Suama resistance, when you look at the Chukwuemeka war, when you look at what is it called? There is a Eka against Bini, Oba Bini and his army, that when after they have dethroned the Oba Bini, they're taking him to Calabar, then the rest one who agree with the Britain, they put up a system, and that was the system that actually gave birth to some of the system that makes our people to begin to claim that they actually came from Benin. Now, a system was put in place. You are made a warrant chief, you are made this, and you are working closely to the Obas. So, a lot of things, our people fought them. That is aside. Now, the major one that crowned it all was the aftermath, the after effect of civil war. It was systematically, placed to perpetually silence Igbo race. How did I mean? How did I mean? Number one is of it is that the what is it called? After the civil war, Awolowo came up with a policy that if you are an Igbo person, it doesn't really matter how much you have in the bank, that you are only entitled to 20 pounds. They don't care how much you have in the bank. The only thing they are giving to you is 20 pounds. And even before, why the war was a kind of the wave things, Gowon also said, we are going to create a cost state. And that cost state was a way of dividing the Igbos the more. Now, when that policy came up, our people started fighting because they discovered that losing the whatever you have in the bank because you are an Igbo. Secondly, being rejected as an Igbo man, leaving the governance for the people of Nigeria. So a lot of factors. Number one is this. Ika, Aniocha, and Kwale, we are all Igbos.
Yeah.
By tradition, by language, by everything, because when you look at the characteristics that define somebody, for example, Ibn Anambra, I'm a neighbor need them many. There is a difference. They are all Igbo. By character, by language, which is the dialect, with some other things. You will know that these two, they are one, but something has come to differentiate them from being same. Just as what you said, no two are in the teacher. No two are teacher and understand the nice way teacher. So they know. Our people denied being Igbo because one, they want to be reintegrated into Nigerian system. They don't want to be pushed away from the Nigerian system. Our people deny, and what I mean are people, I'm talking about the Igbos in River State, the Igbos in Delta. These are two major states that have issue of identity crisis. Our people who are in Kogi and Benue, they are not having identity issue. The only problem those ones are having is that it's as if we have forgotten them. It's as if they are not being carried along. And they too, they are not willing to fit in themselves into the system so that they could be seen as they are not denying it. But it's only Delta and River State that were having this issue of identity that somebody can wake up and say, Namabu no Igbo.
We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. Thank you very much. I like those points you made. So thank you very much. Let me circle back, please. Dikanseku, bikono, gekwu henne. Mana kaimenia, kainebunia nkeji 2 minutes, please. Let me come to Onyekachi, Spirit Almighty. Ajụjụ na-abụ m chọrọ ịjụ bụ abụ na anya, just like others have said, amara m na your own reality ọ dị iche. O nwere ife fakwu melụ ndị ọzọ ndị ụmụnne anyị ji wee na-asị na fa bụrụ ndị Igbo onwe ife fakwu dị iche n'ife iche ikwu onwe ife inwe to add or any other thing inwe to add on it?
Enwe m ife m ga-add to it ife chawapụ okwu mana ife nghọta n'ime bụ na ife me ndị nke anyị ji asị na wa bụghọ ndị Igbo bụ lack of understanding. Now, ị na-anya n'ụkwụ anyị kịta onwe ndị ụkwụ anyị ga-agwa isi na wa si Benin wee bịa mana ibidozi na-agwawa ya bụ ibido na-ajụwasị gị bụ afa your founder si that Benin wee bịa wa kpọbara ya afọ Igbo ọ na-akpọrọ ka m were my community for example abụ m onye Ogume dị na Ndokwa West local government Ukwane land Delta State na my community Ogume kịta ife na-akpa anyị bụ Ogume Idu because my ancestors si na that Idu area present day Benin ebe ka my ancestors si wee bịa not in our present location. Now the name of our ancestors in Ogume o nwere nke wakpo Chime ya bụ nke mụ my own village in Ogume ife anyị na-akpa bụ ya mere wajakwa anyị ụmụ Chime afọ bụ Chime afọ ọzọ bụ Ọdịmegwu afọ ọzọ bụ Agbụlụ Aka afọ ọzọ bụ Ogwezi ifo afọ ndị a niile bụ si afọ Igbo and ya mere oge ancestors anyị ndị a nata from Idu culture tradition ife ncha waji wee bili bụ omenala Igbo ịbịa na be anyị adị aza afa ndị Benin ife anyị na-aza bụ Nduka onye na-enwe afọ anyị ncha bụ afọ Igbo. So that lack of understanding na-ekwu bụ na ndị nke anyị biri bụ na o si bụ na ndị nna anyị si Benin wee bịa ya bụ o si bụ na wa si anị Benin wee bịa na wa bụ ndị Benin. That word Benin akwachi nọ na wa chọhọdị ịnụkọ bụ the name of this our ancestor gị ka o mean ọ bụ afọ Benin ka ọ bụ afọ Igbo. Inanya n'ife eme n'Ụkwani now so many Ụkwani communities migrated from southeast. Onwe ndị si Anambra wee bịa Ụkwani, onwe ndị si Imo State wee bịa Ụkwani. Inanya n'Ụkwani anyị na awaji anyị nwe afọ ịnọ anyị na-eyi okpu ododo nke ifụọ mbido na-agba Oshinne ma Ikenga the most ya bụ ịbịa n'Ụkwani one of the major festival anyị na-eme bụ Ikenga. Ikenga bụ an Igbo festival. Ịbịa n'Ụkwani ịbata n'obodo Ụkwani ntụ ọ bụ mmadụ ga-agwa na an Igbo ka nọ mana that lack of understanding why wee na-anọ na IC Idu wee bịa wee lofu na that land Idu na ndị Igbo dị indigenous in that land. Ndị Igbo dị indigenous. So ife ndị a bụ ife ndị nke need ịghọta anyị and o nwere ga-aghọtazi state creation so affect ndị nke anyị dịka Ezue get all those part of the war policies, you understand? So ndị nke anyị na-achọ survive. Our people are denying their Igbo identity for survival. If na-eme ndị nke anyị na-asị na wa bụ ndị Igbo, it's not just all about the war. The war is not the only thing making our people to say they are not Igbos. Lack of understanding. They can't wake na wasi Benin wee bịa. And if you put our Benin war, slavery, and other things. So
thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, Chukwuemeka, kam jukene kita. Are you there? Odika, your internet or Popogi? Nnaa, man, are you there? Oh dear. Okay, I'll bring him back because I want to know his own perspective from from the point that he may, he's not denying his identity, but by the virtue of his engagement with some individuals, he may have had one or two things. But let me come back to us here. Ossai, now that I have you here, in 2 minutes, Biko, let's pay attention to time. What do we believe is truly driving the renewed momentum for Igbo unity in the year 2025? Because it appears in the last 3, 4, 5, in the last 3 years, the momentum has really gone up the roof. So, Kedihunu Chebuya, let me start with you again. I know you just spoke now. Onyekachi.
Daalụ sọ ajụjụ nkwa ịjụ amaka. Ife mee anyị ji wee bido this movement now bụ dịka ka anyị si wee kwu na disunity na-eme anyị bụ ndị Igbo alụ. Ịbịa na politics, ndị Igbo are lacking behind. And one of the major reasons ndị Igbo ji lack that behind bụ lack of unity. Anyị ejighị ofu ọnụ na-ekwu na this country. Ndị Southeast na-ekwusi aka, ndị Anioma na-ekwusi aka, ndị Ikwere na-ekwusi aka. Lack of unity and understanding. So anyị enega anya n'ife ndị afụ na o nweghị ebe anyị ji ihu eje na ije nke anyị nọwọ. Anyị abịa bido na akụzi the importance of unity. Anyị bido na a big point say ife me anyị ji bụrụ ndị Igbo. Bido na akọwalị ndị nke anyị the importance of unity. Na ọjọọ njọ na mụ na anyị na-asụ ofu asụsụ ndị a na-asị na abụ homoni Igbo maka state creation. Ị ga-afụ onye ụkwanị ọbịa ọ na-asị na mụ bụ onye ụkwanị na onye Eka na onye Oshiri na onye Anịọcha bụ nwanne maka na anyị nọ na the same state. Mana ịjụzi a ngị na onye Anambra bụ nwanne ọbịa ọsịnye mba na anyị na ndị Anambra abụghị nwanne. Ọ ife ndị a mere ya ji wee sị mba ka anyị pụta na-akọwalị ndị nke anyị.
Okay.
Okay,
okay, thank you very much. So, Chukwuemeka, you're back. I was trying to get you in before. Let me quickly, I know you're not denying your Igbo identity. That's not in doubt. And you're not from a state that is. But in the course of your engagements in the last couple of years, what is it that, those you have interacted with, what is it that they tell you that you can tell us that seems to be the reason why you think that the issue of denial ever existed in the first place?
Okay. Well, I can leave out the motivation of beginning a journey of beginning this journey, unify Igbos now, because I have been in the front line, traveling to all these regions, both from Bayelsa to Delta North, all the whole local governments in Delta North, to Akwa Ibom, to Cross River, to Benue, Kogi, Edo, and River State. Like I will borrow word from Onwemadu. Where we have this identity denial is majorly in Rivers and Delta region, and also Edo. That is the Bank.
Okay, no, hold it there. You borrowed a word from Onwemadu, Kainebi, and you're re-emphasizing it. Then I'll ask, why do you think the three places you mentioned are the heart in this?
This whole thing, this whole denial is based on the aftermath or even during the Civil War, because there are more confessions behind the camera than the actual people that are interviewed.
Mm-hmm.
Because we began this as maybe trying to create content around the identity crisis of the Igbo people, especially in the rivers and delta. So, but when we went deeper, we realized that there is, hello.
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, we realized that there is a scare about accepting the identity, even when everything that you both your name, your traditions, and even the name of your community points to the fact that there are other people who have similar thing in the Southeast. So you begin to see, and also lack of education, because education should be able to teach you that there is a language and there is a dialect. Lack of education also is part of this identity denial, because there is no deeper education in these regions that could help these people to be able to point to where they belong in the categories of language or ethnicity, where they belong. So we now, when we were moving around, we now understood that we are not just here to create content, we are also here to enlighten and sensitize. So that was what bettered Unify Igbos Now as a movement, because from the regions, like when I went to Ebanke, the people, their names, their tradition, Ewaji, you understand? So they knew that it is similar with the people from the Southeast. But this scare there is, if I agree here that I am betraying my people, if I agree that like they are betraying their consensus to say they are not Igbos. So the factors are lack of education and also fear of the unknown.
Okay.
Fear of, we agree that we are not going to say
So,
that we are,
so
that
now,
we are going to say that we are not Igbo.
You talked about betrayal. Then it then seems as if there is a consensus or an agreement somewhere. Do you think there is a thing
Yes.
like that? Like a community
Exactly.
would say, no, we come
Yes.
together, we
I
will
can
not
give you
agree
facts.
that way. Okay. In 1 minute, can you do that, please? Let me go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now let me take, for instance, in Omoku. When I went to Omoku, that is River State, Alba Egbe Mandoni local government area, they have a consensus within themselves from their traditional leader, that is Ezeoke, that they are not going to sell lands to the Igbos of the Southeast, but they can sell land to the Oguta people.
But Oguta is in the Southeast,
That they can sell land now. Yes, that is.
Oguta is in Imo State.
I'm coming to this. Yes, they can sell land to the Egbema part of river, the Egbema, the rivers, the Egbema people that are in River States. Now, these, and when you go to Uguta, there is a legend there that says that they come from Bini, just few. Now, their dialect, let's compare their dialect with the Ukwani people. It is similar. The Oguta people and the Ukwani people in Delta North, their dialect is similar. You get it? So they believe that they are one people. They believe the Oba person, the Oba man believes that he is one with the Uguta people. Now let's compare. Let's put it back to what Almighty said. That most of their people say that they come from Benin, but what they have is Igbo names. Now, where is Benin? We are talking about the present day Benin today used to be what? Igodomigodo. Idu. Now, we have Idu, as in we have Onitsha Adoni Idu. We have Idu area. Idu is an Igbo land. Is Igbo language. So you see these people connecting themselves, tracing back to that Idu. The Oguta man tracing his origin to Okwani. Okwani tracing his origin to the Idu. These are one people. One people. Undeniably one people. So coming back to what I said about the Oba people not selling land to the hinterland people, to the hinterland Igbo. This thing is a scare. In Oba, nobody bears any Benin name. All of them bears Igbo. Their ancestral name. We are not talking about just the first name, but every name, their surname and everything is Igbo. So,
okay.
But okay.
Now,
behind
in 1 minute,
camera,
sorry. Okay, behind the camera, they'll tell you the truth. But in 1 minute,
yes,
I know because
okay,
your connection might be temperamental somewhat. But in 1 minute, can you tell us what you think is driving this renewed momentum for, what actually? I mean, at the beginning, you cited that you went to school in Port Harcourt, but now
yes,
you have yourself, you have Spirit Almighty, you have Kainebi, and you have Deputy Jesus. All of you, and many more, because there are many more. It's just that I wanted to have a certain number of people just to have this conversation. So that doesn't mean that it's only you guys that are doing it. But now the question is, what do you think is driving this momentum?
Well, what is driving this current momentum is this renewed push. Is that as let me borrow the Igbo language there. This time is the period of unification. As simple as that. The people have now realized that Igwe Buike, in that Igbo worldview, Onyayala one near Iko and Onurube
but what do you think led to the realization? Obviously, it's an Igbo adage. It's been there. It's been existed before you and I was even conceived. So,
yes,
what
okay,
is that thing that triggered it?
The thing that triggered this renewed push now is simply the kind of politics Nigeria is playing. The politics of number. Yes, politics of number. The Igbo man this, I would say it's from 2015 election, we started realizing that it's about number, that the Igbo man can amount to something in Nigeria when we unify as one people with a common goal.
Okay.
It's the Nigerian politics, yes.
Thank you very much. So now, another Chukwuemeka, Deputy Jesus, can you also tell me, in your view, Kedi Hodegi Kamelu Ejuenwe this resurgence that you guys are leading now? I mean, he said in his own view, Okwola politics, Ndorondoro Ochichi, that that Ndi Igbo are now realizing from the mistakes of the past. But in your own view, what do you think is also leading this charge? Unmute. Yes, go ahead.
Of a truth, they are not far from the truth.
Go ahead.
Part of the major drive behind this is the politics of the day. When you see how things are going, how an average Igbo man wants a good thing. I live in Abuja, so I know what I'm talking about based on experience. It is not favoring anybody in Nigeria, not just the Igbos. The truth is that even the more Nigeria think they're suppressing the Igbo, the Southeastern Igbos or the South Igbo or the North Central Igbo, they're still holding themselves on the same spot. So the major drive actually comes from this political game that Nigeria is playing, and it gave birth to most of us to start saying what is happening. I could remember my first video I made on this issue, first ever video I made on this issue, was somebody trying to, dismiss us as not being Igbo because they are trying to say that Ndi Igbo does not know how to play politics and we don't even love ourselves. That's why in my recent video I said, oh, now we are trying to love ourselves, we are still the one angry. Igbos are not united. We are uniting our brothers, we are still the one angry. So, but the drive is this political undertone that Nigeria is always playing against us as Ndi Igbo. And onye ọbụla ma agbapụ n'ụlọ, maka onye anụrụ nsị na be enyi agbapụ n'ụlọ, echetakwa na tansị ahụ ga n'ebe a na-eche gị. People like us pick it upon us that we have to solve this puzzle, we have to solve this problem. Well, we have to take the bull by the horn. I remember challenging some of those guys in my TikTok live, say, look, if I pick up this challenge to make this video, 10 years, I will be online. I understand psychologically that this thing has accumulated for more than 50 years. You don't expect 1 year sensitization to wipe it off. You don't expect 2 years. So I give myself 10 years to make a counter video that will commiserate over the 50 years of work they have done. So the politics of the day, because if everything is working fine in Nigeria, if there is steady light, if there is good infrastructure, if like the demolition going on now, that everybody is talking about Igbo people should come back home, if those things are not there, some of us don't need to be speaking. I'm asking some of my family members in my village forum that I joined. I said, look, you guys that have been claiming that you are not Igbo, are there not an Anioma person that this demolition affect in Lagos? Did they remove you and said, oh, your name na Chukwuemeka, Okowa, but you are Delta, you are not Igbo? Did they do that? Did they shuffle you people and said, oh, this is Southeast, now these people won't deal with, not with this one? As they're marginalizing the Igbos or protesting in Ghana, are we saying there's no Eka, Okwane, Ogba, Echi, Ndoni that are not fine in those places, that have been, suffering the same narration that the Southeasterners are facing? Did they separate you from them? Just like the Civil War, when the train landed in Enugu, by eyewitness, the man said, he told me an almighty that the first cop he saw was a man he knows. He's his own person from Anioma. When the train landed, they opened the train of corpses of body they are massacred in the north. Our people were found there. So these things that are happening in Nigeria now give people like us the opportunity to say, no, enough is enough. We need to come together. We need to speak with one voice. And we need to do it by telling ourselves the truth. Like I said earlier, if the truth will set us free, it means that the opposite, which is lie, has put us in bondage. And look at Nigeria as a whole. We have been in bondage. We have been the ones suffering. So we need to start setting Nigerian free. We need to start setting Ndi Igbo free. If Ndi Igbo become free, Nigeria itself will be free. Africa will be free. But the powerhouse need to be free. You can't keep holding a giant down and expect people to defend you. It's not possible. But we have to come to the point where somebody has to do it, because at a certain point, it seems like, apart from the last Nnaa Kanu, nobody from the Southeast was actually speaking boldly about the issues of Nigerian politics. You look as if all our political leaders are just playing games, trying to suit the narration of other political gladiators in Nigeria. And people like us said, no, we are Igbo, and this is who we are. We can't constantly deny who we are.
Okay.
We need to tell ourselves the truth. Funny enough, some people that denied their origin, ask them what they have benefited.
Okay.
Okwani today has 9 oil wells, but no development.
Okay, thank you very much. And Onwemadu, Kainebi, this question I want to picking up from Ezeoke. He talked about Nehena drive this thing, the more or less. He stopped the two Chukwuemeka na-ekwu ofiwe na ọgbasa politics. Now, what does political unity look like in real terms for ndị Igbo today? Or dịka something ga-abụ a reality that na ga-anọkọta sị gị na enwe political unity among ndị Igbo across and beyond the Southeast?
Maazi, I've made so much points, but let me make one or two. See, we were divided politically. Ndị Igbo were actually divided politically. All the game tricks that were played against Ndị Igbo were played through politics. And there's one funny thing. We not being part of politics has given us a stand to fend for ourselves, has given us that position to stand out. The business you see that they celebrate Igbos around the world today was the distancing of Ndị Igbo from the politics of Nigeria. We decided to work and be the government of ourselves, my family, and your family. And we got it at that point. And that is why today in Igbo land, there is no family in Igbo land that has not produced a millionaire, or rather a thousandaire. And that is why today in Nigeria, we have lesser beggar in Igbo land than every other place. But there's another negative impact that stand actually brought to Ndị Igbo. We distance ourselves because we know that Nigeria is oppressing us. It's okay, now they have taken this, let us leave it for them and mind their business. But that thing we left for them yesterday is now returning back today to haunt us. That is politics, that is governance. We were busy working for ourselves, leaving that political terrain for them. And today it's haunting us. How did that mean? When Gowon said they are going to create a cost state, it wasn't his own ideology. That was the idea given to him by the Britain, because they wanted a way when Igbos will be so divided that we will find it difficult to have a unifying voice. The Northerners today that everybody is running to seek for an approval, if you want to be elected in any office today, they are not being better than us in education. They are not more wiser than us. The only thing that they are better off is that they were able to unite themselves as a people who believe in one cause when it comes to politics and governance. If you go to the north, they have different tribes. We that are denying ourselves, we are just one tribe. Just that we have a breakdown of language which we call dialect. But if you go to the north, we have Fufude, who are the Fulanis. Within that language, they have different dialects. I mean Fulanis, we go to the north, we have the Hausas that have the Hausa language, because Hausa is not a dialect of Fulani, neither Fulani a dialect of Hausa. We have Idom. I'm talking about those who are within the North. But do you know that these guys were able to accept together, irrespective of them being different, but they just accept it being that they are the Northerners. That has given them a kind of position that every other tribe are not struggling to climb to. Now, the president of Nigeria today, forget that all of us are claiming that Tinubu is easy, he knows how to play politics. The politics of Tinubu today, it is a result of Tinubu having his way to unite the whole Yorubas. And that is why an Oyo person can come to Lagos and claim to be a Lagosian. That is why the Ijebu man will leave Ijebu and come to Lagos and worry land and claim to be one of the land because they have been able to put themselves together, throwing away their differences. That is a strength. That is a strength. So the negative effect of not being into politics is what we are suffering today. For how many decades we have lived as if we are not related. Now we are struggling to be recognized. When you come to data, the quality, the nurture, and the cars are one. There was a time we are being referred as Ndeka. As we keep going, due to some of these colonial policies, regions and stations were being established. A car was limited to what is it called? A car start and a car not that we have today. Another area was created, which is called another nurture. Then at that point, our people now said, because I heard you ask a question, did they have a consensus that from today we are not going to be answering in Igbo again? Of course they do, but they did not, it was systematically. But not knowing that it's going to come fast forward to haunt every one of us. Now at that point, Ika was trying to push an ethnic identity. They think by pushing an ethnic identity, they will stand out, not knowing that politics is a game of number. Kwale was also trying to push an identity which they call Kwale. And they say we're going to call it Kwale and have our language. But when an Kwale man speak, Ikama will not look for an interpreter. When an Ikama speak, Kwale will not look for an interpreter. Also vice versa in what is it called? Aniota, Ndoshim and so on. But these people, because those who advise them and those who actually tell them do it, it will work, did not let them know the negative effect of what they are doing. So Kwale is not trying to have an identity, thinking that promoting Kwale as a what is it called? As a tribe, or having themselves a language, we make Nigeria to recognize them or the world to recognize them. But we never knew that taking that step will keep us backwards. Of course, all the areas that are suffering this identity crisis are actually backward. I'm talking about the Igbo, I'm talking about the Delta North, who are the Anyomas. So politically, we have been dealt with. So the reason why I am not talking about what is it called, Igbo Unification, we're not talking about politics and governance, is because that is only way we can have that total redemption. So now, because of what we have discovered, we decided that as an organization that we have been able to put together, which is called Nnaa Social Cultural Organization. Nnaa is comprises of Igbos in Edo State, Delta, River State, Far Eastern State, Kogi, Cross River, Benue. These are people that come together to say, okay, now, if people are shying away from the word Igbo, they will not shy away from their language. All these places that you have Igbo, but the Kwale will understand that fact and that word and the usage of that word called there. We say, okay, we're going to get this Nnaa Social Cultural Organization. Now, putting us together, we succeeded taking signatory from all these places that I mentioned. That means we're in agreement to bring ourselves together. Now, P2B, people are saying P2B is running to the north, doing this on the north. P2B believe that once he has an approval from the north, his ticket or his chances of becoming president of Nigeria is already there. Now, he failed to understand that his strength or the only strategy he needs to amount to that position that he wants is to unite his family. We have about 300 communities, Igbo communities in Benue and Kogi, North Central. For example, if community is about 300 or 400 in population, every community, times it by 300. You look at the number, you go to Edo State, you come to Delta, you come to River State, you come to Cross River, then before adding the 5 eastern states, my brother, what do you think you are having as a number? We'll talk about democracy, we'll talk about the system, the voting strength and all that. So those who are sponsoring the division among the Igbos, they know that this is where our weakness lies. If we succeed coming together, we will never cry again for marginalization.
Okay, now let me piggy something that you said. You said those that were denying apparently were also not accepted. Are you saying that those who denied their Igbo identity are also not being accepted in those places?
They are not. They are not. They are not. Do you know? Let me tell you something. One funny thing. The crime of the former governor of CBN, Emefule, today is not up to 1/10 of what Rebadu of the Northern as a CBN then committed. The crime of most of these people.
Unless you
about,
mean,
what is this, our brother? During the Get administration that was actually kept. And if you look at when Morrissey, who was also an Nnaa chairman, the reason why our people are being thrown away out of government so easily is because we are not united. Our voices are not strong. Go and write
unity,
this on
no, but hold on. Unity, let's be clear here, guys. Unity doesn't, that even if we are united, it doesn't support criminal acts. If someone, I mean, I think what we should be
now let me tell you, when you talk about that, see, I understand what you are saying. Unity does not support criminal, of course, but let me tell you, even in a system where we know that Nigeria operates two standard of what is it called, law. They will interpret chapter 1 under subsection 2 or whatever, and an Igbo man is standing and an outside man is standing. Two of them will never get an exact judgment, because the reason why is because when the judgment is passed, the Northern is being favored based on what they believe about them. So that's why I said that. So every criminal needs to be judged. And there are people I just mentioned. I said they committed crime, but they were not judged the same way they judge an Igbo person. No, I am coming. Give me just a few seconds. Are you aware that Ojukwu would have been more celebrated if Ojukwu never took a ticket to run for presidency after he returned from Ezue? These are all systems they use to kill us and kill our ideas. When Ojukwu returned back, there are existing political parties that would have accepted him as their candidate. Do you know what they do? Him and his team was advised to float a new party. Now, when they float the new party, they call the party an Igbo party. And you and I know as it stands today, that Abga is suffering that fate as it stands today. Tell me how many Yorubas that are able to run. I know a few of them have tickets, but tell me, how many of them accepted that party as a national party? These are systems. So one thing we need to do is that our unity first is going to give us a numerical strength. Then also that we make a move to National Assembly. We submitted 2 documents. One is boundary adjustment. We are making case that there are so many of our families that were taken away from us. We need them back. Secondly, that the 5 eastern states has been there as one of the smallest, the lowest number when it comes to geopolitical zone by numbering of states. So we need another state to be added to Southeast so that we can equate other regions. And that is why we submitted another document making the call for an state creation, which will make the Southeastern state number 6 state. And by so doing, we have increased numerically as a region. We have also increased in landmass. That will give us a say whenever there is a national politics. This is one thing we must understand.
Thank you very much. I mean, thank you for your brilliant input. Let me quickly also, ask this. Let's stay with, you started, on the political train. Let me ask this question, and I want Onyekachi to respond to this. As we approach the 2027 elections, could Igbo unifications shape the future of Nigerian politics? Do you think so? Do you think it's even possible that by 2027 that you have, mustered enough strength to do whatever that is necessary? What's your take?
Thank you very much for that question. Just like you said, that politics is a thing of numbers. Like now, we have succeeded in making Igbo nation know about a movement called Igbo Unification movement. So many of our people are now getting to understand that for we Igbos to occupy power, like for P2B to be the president of Nigeria, he needs the support of Igbo nation. He needs full support, and that is
that does not necessarily mean or equals the Southeast.
The Southeast, we all are Igbo people, both the South Igbos, Ikwere people, Wane people, Ika people. We just have to come together and make sure we have political strength in the federal level. Yeah, that's all I have to say to that.
Oh, okay. Now, Chukwuemeka, here, if we stay on this, the question will be, how can this unity in question be pursued without being misinterpreted by other regions that they are secessionists, they are rebels, or isolationists? How can what you guys are driving, how do you ensure that it doesn't eventually connote to, to the fear of other regions?
If I really understand your question, you're asking me how can this our Igbo unification movement not be
pursued,
misunderstood by other regions, right?
As the people who want to, they want to unify and push for another, secession.
Yes, I understand. Well, misunderstanding must surely come. But it's the ability to solve the problem or explain better, because when somebody tells you, say, you will not understand, he has not explained. If you explain, the person will understand. So people must surely misunderstood us. Surely. Why I use the word, so that we won't shy away from the misunderstanding. Definitely there are people who, even within us, that have been configured to believe that what we are doing, I know so many people that have tagged us to be terrorists, try to write things to instigate federal government to arrest us because they misunderstood what we are fighting for. But the truth remains that going by the narrative or the way we are going about it, we are trying as much as I can to follow the law of Nigeria and to follow the real truthful method, peaceful method of educating and sensitizing our people. And that is why, like our last conference, we made sure that Igbos in 13 of these states, attended. And that's been established that Igbos are in 13 states. So now we have been able to let people know that we are not just in South-East, we're also in the South-South, we're also in North-Central. And by so doing, we are letting others to know that we are not your enemies. We are actually not your enemies. The real enemy of the day are seen from the foreign people that want to, constantly making Nigerian mineral resources. And this is why we always go into history to bring fact and evidence so that people will begin to understand. But we understand that people will still get us wrong because there's a lot of people we are matching, the people we are telling the truth to their face, like telling them this is not what it's supposed to be, this is who we are and this. And people are getting it wrong. But consistently and constantly, we're gonna win the battle. We know this. So far, we are following the law of the land. We are not going against the Constitution of Nigeria. So far, the organization are floated within the boundary of what Nigerian law, covers. Time will tell. So far, we did not quit. We will definitely make everybody to understand at the end of the day that we are on the right path, not on the wrong path.
Okay.
That is sure.
Now, when I was making introduction, I pointed out that all of you who are on this trajectory, driving this Igbo unification, I pointed it out that you were all born after the Civil War. None of you witnessed the war. And in Nigerian political context, some can still be classified as youth, right? But the question now, I want any of you, I'll throw this question open and see who wants to go first on this. You can raise your hand, I'll call you on that. What role should the Igbo political elites, traditional rulers, cultural leaders play at this moment in sustaining what you guys have triggered in the Great Igbo Nation? What do you think? What role do you think the Ezes, maybe the Ohanezes, the political leaders, those elected and those that grabbed it and ran with it, what role do you think at this point from Ihonu what do you think should be their role now? Onwemadu, I believe you're on.
What I would say, which we have started, is that we are going to be using my lighting. One thing I know they should do is this. One, having understanding that the fight is not going to be easy when we are one-sided. For example, we went to National Assembly, we visited V2 Ifeanyi Oba of blessed memory, went to the office, we dropped documents in some of them, asking them to align with the call for this annual state, giving them fact and figure. So what our royal fathers should do to complement the effort we have already been making is they should take the advantage of cross-carpeting, extending hand of relationship with their brothers and their sisters. Like what happened when we had our conference. We have royal fathers who came from Delta, we have the ones who came from Obobo, we have the ones that came from Omoko, our brothers, we have the one that came from Edo State, we have the one that came from Anambra State, Ononwa, Bagan, and so on and so forth. Now, having this understanding that we are one, we are one, extending hands of fellowship, reaching out, because once you are quiet, it simply means you have accepted what is happening. So, but if you speak out, solution will be there.
So in essence, you're encouraging them to help you people drive the handshake across the Niger.
Of course, what like today, before we came to this program, we went to Obunike. I went with Omo Fobio. We went to Obunike when Umuado and Igbo, they are having their program today, tag Aquarium. Now, in that occasion, we have a lot of traditional worshippers, somebody like Miriam Willow, a lot of them that I cannot mention their name, a whole lot of them that came there. And being that Omu is an institution on her own, a royal mother who came from across the Niger Delta to participate with them in what is happening in Obunike. It was all fun because everybody is coming. This one, it shows it has a long way to go in what we are doing. You cannot stay in your house and get things done. If you want to actually work to make money, aside those that are using computer to work at home, you must go out to the market to sell before you make money. So to achieve this, we must not sit down at a place, we must reach out, vice versa.
Thank you. Before I move on. Chukwuemeka.
Dalo.
Okay.
Onyekachi.
Yeah.
Dika ifi kukita concerning upon our traditional rulers and leaders are in support of what we are doing. Yes, they are in full support. Like now, in Nanya that our conference I made na Okpanam community. Ezue Chukwuemeka from Aguleri, His Royal Majesty. He came to that conference and graced that conference. Or will lead that conference as an opportunity. Go Igbo say, go Igbo, mandi politicians, mandi Eze, mandi Obi, mandi Okpara, Kawancha support wa Igbo Unification movements. I visit so many of our royal fathers. IJ Arochukwu, Abogaje made the planning for that conference. We went to Arochukwu. We met Ezue, and he said that he is so interested in that conference that he wants to come. Mana only busy schedules that period, like yabo festivals only di made that period. So on my weekend happen that festival via our conference. IJ Abia State, I could Ohanes Ndibo. In fact, Ohanes Ndibo is in full support of this Igbo Unification movement. Ohanes Ndibo Puaina, so Igbo politicians all over the southeast are in support of what we are doing. Nnaa Bo Senator Ned Nwoko, our distinguished senator, he is in full support of Igbo Unification movement. During that our conference, Senator Ned told us in that conference, he told the world that during the genocide against Igbo nation, during that war, that their parents told them to start denying their Igbo identity for them to stay alive. That time, he said that he was 9 years old. All the 9 years, Kanena Uboko community is in Enuane region of Anyoma land. His own parents told him, that was during the war. So that's something by the female one. Oh God, Nnaa wana gwandi okwane di onye drink of Ibonibo gwani bu onye Igbo. So Senator Ned Nwoko on our support this our movement. He's in full support. So other Southeast governors, kings, royalties, they are in full support of Igbo Unification.
Okay. So thank you. Let me Deputy Jesus, when he add near, if not, let's move quickly. We should be rounding up now. And while we are on this conversation, hold on, while we're on this conversation, those of you following us online, Moihoche, let the individual indicate in the comment section. Thank you. When he Chukwuemeka, Deputy Jesus, 1 minute. When he, or should we move on?
Yes, let's move on.
Okay,
You
thank
have
you.
said a lot. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So, quickly now, aside the political leaders and the traditional rulers, how can the grassroots, or rather, let me rephrase, how can grassroots voice not just the politicians that I made reference to before now, and which you guys have dealt with appropriately? How can this be empowered to shape the unity agenda? Abuchi, thank you very much. For those of you watching us, please like, share, and subscribe. And also, the people on my screen, you can also follow them in their various social media handles. Thank you very much. So, now I don't want to pick anybody specifically, but I think Chukwuemeka, you may want to attempt this. How can the grassroots voices, not just politicians, be empowered to shape the unity agenda? So you can go ahead. Let me unmute you. Go ahead.
Okay. Charity begins at home. That is the way it's supposed to be. Ndị be anyị asị na egwu na-esi n'ụlọ efulu mmadụ eje ilo. The grassroots has a lot to play in order for us to be able to harness this unity we're talking about. And that is why I personally stay in Abuja before, but I've deliberately returned back to this region because of this. Because I understand that we need to be at home and see people at home, have interaction, discuss with them so that they can see if the people at home believe a cause, they believe it wholeheartedly. And that is why it's good that we go back to the grassroots to educate and sensitize our people. And this is why person like me come back home. Akuruno is not just bringing investment, even bringing knowledge and ideas is part of it. So we are going to the grassroots because if the people at home actually buy into this idea of Igbo unity and Igbo unification movement, understanding that we are one, it is easier to sell the product Igbo than ever. So the grassroots sensitization is something that we cannot overemphasize. And I can tell you that Ndina Sobia, social cultural organization, is doing everything possible to put grassroots sensitization as a forefront. I think after this conference, they are mapping out the next target of men that are going to be launched into different of these regions that will have these issues. Just like visiting them, making an encounter with the youth leaders, with the elders of the environment, and start educating them. But I know that all these things, people are expecting us to immediately start doing it. We're also recovering from what we have done in the last, but we are telling you that grassroots is more important than ever. Catch them young, that's how the Igbo man talk. If the next generation of Igbo youths can be able to re-educate them, let them understand what is going on. Because I hear you when you ask a question, what of 2027, can he be able? No. It's not just immediate thing. We're not even looking at it that, no. Yeah, if the result come in the next election, fine. But the main aim is that the future of Igbo nation, so far is within the boundary of Nigeria, should be guaranteed with unity, peace, progress, infrastructural development, everything that needed to be found in it, because we have all it takes to be one. But we have to start from home. I can see we don't know. So we are doing much as we can to go into the grassroots, to educate them, bring more people into the forefront. We have more people who are speaking now. If you watch the social media platform, a lot of people are even chatting me up like, I want to join, I want to join. But we understand that it's not just I want to join, because people are beginning to buy into the idea. So we need more people to start coming out, start making more videos, start sensitizing people, going for trips from villages to villages, and this is how we'll be able to get everybody
Okay.
along. Thank you.
Thank you. So while we are rounding up, somebody said Ndukwe Jonathan made a comment, and obviously to the question that I asked before, and the comment reads: "We can celebrate Igbo Day, set aside a day. Cultural and sports can help us unite us." Thank you very much for that comment. And this is also the opportunity to tell us that tomorrow also, Okugiano, at the Ekweme Square, Oka, Enwe Igbo Day celebration. The last Igbo Day celebration was in 2023, that was done in Enugu. This year's Igbo celebration is being done in Oka, Ekweme Square, starting 10 o'clock tomorrow. Eventually, we believe that we might also have this live streamed on Njenje Media various platforms. Now, having said that, as na ọnọnuno n'ọlụ for ndị pull up, Onwemadu, I think you want to say something, but hold your thoughts. I want you to answer with this. Kedu ka anyị si chee na ndị pull up ụmụnne anyị ndị nọ na diaspora? What role can the Igbo diaspora play in strengthening solidarity at home? Onwemadu, ịchọ izi?
All right, because of time, we have a lot of things that is lining up for this movement and enlightenment. One, our brother that just said we can celebrate Igbo Day. We've started celebrating Igbo Day. But there's something we are planning in the future. We've come to realize that every Igbo community, both those who find themselves in North Central, South, the Southeast, and so on and so forth, they have a unique culture, tradition, and traditional dance, and so on and so forth. So we are looking forward in the nearest future having a football competition that will bring us together as a unity football competition. And we are looking at another one in the future, bringing unity carnival. That unity carnival, where Ajofia Newi, where Ijele Onicha, where Bomawa Ragomulede, Adama, where all of them will come. If we choose a state, we will come and do that. And you said something about Igbo Day happening tomorrow in in Oka. Let me see you this opportunity to pass a message to our people, most especially those who are the organizers of this event, because we try not to make such mistakes during our time. Every socio-cultural organization that we know about that existed in Igbo land, we send invitation across to them, both those in South, both those in Southeast, both those in North Central. We spend a whole lot of money reaching out to them to let them know that we are having a 2-day conference called Igbo Bofu. It's a way of making those people know that they are needed to be part of what is happening. I was in Igbo Day celebration last time in Rivers State. One of the reasons that Ikwere people, most people, one of the reasons they gave that make them not to attend that festival was that they said they were not being carried along. That is, if you're having such event, you must reach out to your people. There's a way to do that. Aside the radio jingle, aside the advert you are going to be doing on Facebook, there are people that you know that they are your target audience. Reaching out to them with an invitation, reaching out to them with a letter, going in person to invite them, we go a long way, making those people know that indeed we are being regarded That is another. And you said something about the diaspora. Let me use this opportunity. I believe you will not take it as an advert. Let me use this opportunity to let you know that at the cost of it, we are not resting. We have made our research and discovered that if you come to Europe, most especially in diaspora, we have different organizations. INCA, they have the organization. Quale, they have Equity, they have our general Igbo, we have. But one thing is that we discovered that diaspora is going to play another major role in conveying our message to the least communities we have in Igbo land. And that is why we are planning now that by next year, Nnaa Subia is not only going to be preaching this message around the whole Igbo community, we are coming over in diaspora. We have taken a date. We are going to be having a conference, a unity conference in UK, where all the socio-cultural group, Nnaa Subia, remember, I said Nnaa Subia, Nnaa Subia, Nnaa Subia, the 5 eastern states in Asobia, Igbo and Edo State, we are extending our invitation to all the sons and daughters of Nnaa Subia within the Europe. We are meeting up by September in UK. Now, before that September, same thing is going to be happening. We are meeting up with this group in the United States of America. Before next week, the advert will begin to run for people to know what we are doing. So if we come to UK, there is no socio-cultural organization that fall under Nnaa Subia that will not have our invitation or receive a letter of invite to that conference. So we are coming together to discuss that's who makes you to say you are not Igbo and seek the way to address it. So we're already taking a step on that. So next year, we'll be in America, we'll be in US. We are not just coming in America because it's in America. I know be America because for ages, they are not coming. And when you reach out to them, they give you one excuse or the other. We are coming to them to speak with them 1 day, 2 days. Then let every one of them begin to convey. And we have been made to understand that most of our politicians and most of our fathers, they don't have time to mingle with us within here, but we can meet them all in the UK and in America. I think there are steps we have taken and which we are going to be alerting you because we're already working together with you now. We are not just on your platform to speak. We are already part of you and we believe you're already part of us. And we're going to be working together to see that in the future, in the nearest future, that was supposed to take us 10 years to achieve. Coming together, we will do it within 5 or 4 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, I'm actually adding. So, guys, we are rounding up. As it is now, you know, you've taken the question, but I have the last question here. My last question, Boo, should the economic integrations like trade blocks, industrial hub, and regional investment, you know, apart from political, cultural things, through these things, you know, economic integration, maybe abu na ahia enwe na mpo asike enwe extension here the other side, enwe shop the other side, you know. Do you think something like that could also help to quicken the unity?
Yes. Yes, it is going to. Reason being that one of the reasons why Onitsha seaport has not been dredged is this issue of Niger Delta and Southeast. If we are giving Anioma State Anioma collaborating with Anambra to dredge that Niger to have a seaport will be very easy, because it's going to be coming under regional development. The reason why Delta are not even talking with Anambra to see how that seaport can be feasible is because Delta is still operating under South-South, where Anambra is operating under Southeast. So there is no way they can collaborate. It's not regional. So if how this Anioma state and it's all under the Southeastern state, it's going to come under regional development. We will have issue of bringing heads together to dress that and have seaport that River Niger. That is one. Secondly, economic, Igbos, we the Igbos will like investment. There are many opportunities in Delta, which is going to become a norm in the nearest future. Farming, we have coal, we have a lot of mining, we have oil and all that. Anambra have. When we come together regionally, I said it, there is going to be a lot of opportunity for us to develop and have our region working. So the disadvantage, or should I say, the problem we're having not achieving all these things because both states are not under one region. It was during this Tinubu that they signed what is the Southeastern Development Commission. The Southeastern Development Commission, though we have not seen them taking steps in doing anything. Now, for example, Niger Delta Development Commission is there. We see what they are doing. And those that we are with them, that we are with, I mean the Urhobos and the Sokos, are not ready to buy the idea that we better that region because they see us as Igbo. They know that we are Igbo. So having an agreement to do something that will be tangible within that geographical location is not going to be possible because we are not seeing it or reasoning the same way. So when we have our state as Anioma on with the same geographical zone, we are going to be falling into that Southeastern Development Commission. Automatically, when Anioma is created as an oil producing state, Anambra oil producing state, and Imo State oil producing state, a lot of allies will come, a lot of ideas will come. And one of the reasons we are taking this unification to UK and America is that just like my brother said, that it's not all about money. Or there are so many things that we know that when we come together as a people, we can achieve. I think this unity that we are calling will open so many doors for us when it comes to development and or infrastructure and whatsoever. So that is why we are hammering on let Igbos come together. When we agree, we can now look into what is our problem and see how to solve it. For first and foremost, let us agree first. Let us come together first. It's like I talk too much.
Thank you very much. So let's wind up, guys. I'll give us 1 minute each for your closing remarks. I will start with Spirit Almighty. Unmute, please.
Interview keju ebido na asụsụ be anyị ka nsọ asụsụ be anyị na ka asọ ya menje eweli Igbo na ekwu okwu na-ekwu nebe isiwa ka m sụkwa
mba na-asụ ya ọ na-asụ ọgwụgwọ ọ na-asụ ọgwụgwọ
so ka o si wee dị bụ na ozi anyị pasịrị na ya si akịta bụ ife ọ bụ na onye ife Igbo na-asọ ga-aba to this idea. Onye Anioma bụ na ife Anioma na-asọ a ọ ga-amarị na for Anioma to succeed, for Anioma to grow, for there to be development in Anioma land, that person is expected to support Igbo Unification. That person is expected to teach Igbo Unification. That person is expected to embrace the Southeast as his brothers. In Anya now, I don't make refreshing na my video. And if you can atolum shine, my region, Okwane land in that Anioma, is the most backward region. Now, Okwane land, in my region, Okwane, we don't have federal university. We don't have federal poly. We don't have state university. We don't have state poly. We don't have light for 20 years, even till now. We don't have good roads. We don't have federal and state healthcare in Okwane land. This is marginalization. Man, if there is in other regions in that state, always so in a Delta State, the leaders, governors, they are mostly coming from those Urobo region. And am I expecting an Urobo governor to be building Okwane land, to be building Anyoma land? So, only Okwane na Nifeni Nekukita, Obu Nifu Okwane na Asoi. Embrace our brothers in the southeast. Now, Okwane the backward in Delta State is to tell you that Ndi Nidia Suibo na Delta States, what they are flying as part of them. The only people in Anyoma that see we Okwane people as part of them are Oshimiri, Anyocha people, and the Ika people. Maka incha na so fast, so incha bo one day. Manandi Nidia Suibo, dika all those Urobo Isoko, Obu Hokwa na ina wabu enemy mana. We African people, we are tribal creatures. I only want to na so fast so. Ya kind of for as one name, bano popo. So we are Nyoma people for Nyoma to grow, for Ukwanela to grow especially. We are expected to support Senator Ned Umoko and make sure we actualize Anyoma State. Not only to actualize Anyoma State, but make sure that Anyoma State is being zoned to the southeast. Can you Muta the commercial aspects of our brothers in the southeast? Can you Malik Wasi trading? Can you Muta Iba boy? Can you Muta if one name on a southeast name to develop Ukwane because getting a Nyoma State and joining to southeast is not everything. I join your southeast. What are we Ukwane people going to learn? Oh yeah, we be this accepting our Igbo identity where them ma. No one land goes away to war. Yabo. Atom cordon do one, atom cordon the Anyoma, atom cordon the Kainwan, atom cordon Igbo nation, no mama can I mana unity. When we Igbos unite, we Igbos will enjoy everything that comes with unity. Dalo.
Thank you, Wandem. Emailer. Deputy Jesus, on 1 minute, Iwe Kikun, Kaiwe Mecha.
Okwu adịrọ m n'ọnụ too much, mana onye ọbụla ekwuzighị ife ọ chọrọ, ife m kwesịrị ikwu. Ihe dị n'ime ya bụ anyị bụ ndị Igbo, anyị kwesịrị n'oge dị oge awa mara na ka ndị be anyị si ekwu ya n'ọgụ elugobewa zomugbolo. It's not all about what we say online, it's about the action speak rather than voice. So me, like Ezue will always say social media is not just the main thing. The main thing is being on the ground, doing the necessary thing. You know, Nigeria is a country that holds conference here and there and tell you they are targeting this and that. But at the end of the day, you look at the conferences and the meetings they hold, no outcome. So, anybody Igbo by now, I could see Karigondi Gana Ekuzi or Tutu. This is my own suggestion this night.
Thank you.
Kwesị bịakọta ọnụ n'oge awa bido gwawa onwe fa okwu ka ife anyị ga-eme ka ọ dịrị ala Igbo mma, ka ọ dịrị ndị Igbo niile mma, ọ dịrị onye ọbụla mma, ọ dịrịkwanụ Nigeria mma. Dịka ka m si ekwu, this is the hour, this is the time, this is the best moment that we can be able to put our house in order and build it. As na atụka nwa ọkụkọ atụba ya n'ọdị mma. Everything that is happening to the Igbos outside is a blessing in disguise. That's how I see it. Because Obuni Gwalofa, Mba Oduku Siva, Kifu na Lulifan na Lagos, or the Kanojuku will envy, Obrukwe here. But when I can imagine, I don't go to a chin to 9 years ago. I did if I got 1 auntie, a banana.
Yes.
So ihe dị n'oge a bụ anyị niile kwesịrị ịnyụkọ mamịrị ọnụ ka ọ gbaa ụfụfụ now. This is the moment to build, moment to unite, moment to speak with one voice, the moment to be loved by everyone. Ịbụrụ onye Ka, bụrụ onye Ụkwụani, bụrụ onye Igba nke na Edo steeti, bụrụ onye Isọmọ na Cross River, bụrụ onye Kogi, si na Benue, si na any part of River State isi wee bịa mana ị na-asụ Igbo, Okpobo, Ndonio, Otago, Ogba, Echie. This is the moment that we should all be united, because united we stand and divided we fall. See how far we have fallen since we divided ourselves. Thank you.
Okay. So we have come to the end of this. Amagim Kainebi, 30 seconds. Onwehi Chorikwu, your last statement, please.
All right. The only thing I will say, because I've said much, is that Ndibo, Oga, Boga, let us make good use of this time, bringing ourselves together, educating ourselves, and making sure that we deliver ourselves from this grip that we are into. Nobody will do it for us. Now that we have realized, let us all put hands together and get it right. Shalom.
Thank you very much, my brother. It has been a very interesting conversation tonight in the State of the Igbo Nation series here on Njenje Media TV. And tonight's town hall has been a very, very and a deep engagement and thought-provoking dialogue with Umunnem on the renewed push for Igbo unification. And as you all know, my distinguished panelists were Neudrell Chukwuemeka, Justine, Kogolo, nke onye unu ma as Deputy Jesus, Chief Onwemadu Kainebi, onye nwe Igbo Ezue TV, Onyekachi Ossai, Spirit Almighty, and Chief Chukwuemeka Ndukaku, Unify Igbo Now Movement, and the director Nnaa Mehn TV. Sadly, I think his connection sometimes played up. Now that's why he's not with us towards the end of this. Again, I thank you all for being part of this. And in the months and in the months to come, we may have need to still bring one or two of us together, and other people beyond the people here to also speak on this matter as to the various efforts onuneme, right? Because that's the whole essence. I thank you all for bringing your various and unique voices, experiences on the ongoing efforts on this unification that we have brought to the table this night. On this note, I thank you all for joining me. I am still Maazi Ezeoke, your host. And for those of you watching online, if you have not subscribed to this platform, by all means, do click like and share with others to share this message. Thank you very much and good night all. May God bless us all. Bye.